There's like really a softball sandwich.
Okay, welcome to this week's Whole Week Costa.
Do,
This week,
do we get my insult in the beginning of that?
no,
Okay, good.
yeah.
Sorry, continue.
So this week I actually had Kev look up some stuff. So it's it's kind of the first one. The first one I asked him to look up is we kind of talked about it was Tait Fletcher,
Yeah.
who also does a podcast, but he was a UFC fighter. He was Joe Rogan's bodyguard.
I didn't know
He
that. He had this whole list of accomplishments.
he's
see
an
that one.
actor. He owns he's a part owner of Caveman Coffee, which is like a coffee.
Which is like complete bullshit.
What?
That's like the one thing about him.
What?
The K-Back Coffee is like complete bullshit.
That he owns a coffee company?
Like no, like what it is.
Oh
Like, what,
yeah,
yeah.
don't worry about it. It's still a company.
Yeah, don't ever buy it. But like but it's cool that he makes money off suckers.
Yeah, but here's the thing about it. It's like I just bring it up because I started following him. I started reading about him. I listen. I don't listen to his podcast, but like I follow his stories on Instagram, and he's pretty like in
It's real inspirational.
inspirational. Yeah, and like he's like a Renaissance man.
Yeah.
He does all these things. So like I follow him, and like they say like make yourself your own hero.
Mhm.
But I mean all this stuff that he does and he talks about, like it makes me go, you know what, I could do all that stuff. So I mean probably not, like I don't want to get into acting or move to LA or anything. So I'm probably not going to
Be
get
a
into
stuntman.
that. But
Be a bounty hunter.
yeah, like he does all this stuff, but it's my own path. It gives me inspiration to be able to do what I want.
Yeah. Yeah. The one thing that he said that was really good thing. So I've only listened to a little bit of his stuff now, but I was listening to like a longer thing he did today. But this is the most prepared I've ever been for a podcast. I mean, I have looked up stuff before, but I've never like listened to a whole nother thing to prepare. Like, I mean, the 6 weeks in a row, I tried to listen to like the Call of Cthulhu and like didn't work out, but I've listened to it now actually. But yeah, so the one thing he said was, people come up, will ask him or ask other people he knows, like, well, how did you get to where you are? How did you become an entrepreneur? How did you do these things? And the one answer, so it was him and Keith Jardine were in the were being
He's also MMA, and he's an actor and a wrestler and all that other stuff.
So they talked about, I forget which one of them answered, but it basically said something about, it's sort of disrespectful to ask someone that, that like if you want to see how you get to where you want to be, you should find someone that's a role model that is doing what you want to do, and you should study what they're doing. To ask someone like, oh, well, how'd you do this? Like to ask them basically to like sum up all this hard work they've done in like a couple sentences, like pretty much makes you an asshole. Like,
I agree with that. Everyone pretty much has their own path.
Yeah.
And you take from other people. Like you could be the best at something, but only one person is the best at something.
Yeah.
Like there's only one best guitarist,
Mm.
but you could be the best at what you do.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's another thing, I guess another way that they looked at it, I guess they referenced somebody else who I didn't know who they were talking about, but they said, somebody asked them that.
Who's that?
I don't know who the other person was. I don't remember. But they said, they'd asked them, the similar question, like, well, how did you get to where you are? And their answer was basically like, well, I could tell you, but you can't do it. Like you have to do it. You have to do it the way that you would do it. I can, you can't really learn everything from just what I did.
Like we talked about it previous podcast that we were talking about like hard work versus like just happening or being lucky and everything.
Yeah.
And usually like if it's hard work, like if you actually put the hours in, you're always successful.
Yeah. Well,
usually like 90% of the time you're usually successful.
Yeah, and that's one thing we talked about too. Is like sometimes he would even like there'd be like a fight he would win or something, and he wouldn't feel that accomplished afterwards because he knew like he didn't train as hard as he should have. Like that he won the fight just because he was better than the other person, but like he didn't really put the work in, so it felt like unsatisfying. Versus other times where he'd worked harder, and he would tell people like, oh, that was like an empty win, like that didn't mean anything. And the other example he talked about, and I feel like I've talked about this before on this podcast because I really only have like so many thoughts in my head. So after 30 episodes, I probably said many of them at this point. But I think I talked about before how like it always annoys me when people like criticize like how much actors make or how much professional athletes make because like those people have gotten to those positions because they've worked harder than everyone else. Like, I mean no one really needs like $200 million, but like the reason why you don't make $200 million is because you haven't worked as hard as that person. Like, no matter what you think you're doing, like you haven't. Like, trust me, you haven't.
It's hard work and sacrifice.
Yeah, exactly.
Like there's to get where you want to go. There's sacrifice. Like I can't think of his name, but there's an Olympian, and he went $80,000 into debt, credit card debt.
Mm-hmm.
To train for the Olympics.
Yeah.
And like he didn't know if he was going to make it to the Olympics, and he finally did. And you don't really get anything for winning the Olympics. So now he has to go back, and because he won the Olympics and everything, he has sponsors.
Yeah.
So he's finally paying off his debt. And that, and like a lot of road comedians and a lot of actors and everything, they live in cars, they live on couches, they crash. Medical students, they do the same thing. And you like lawyers, like if you go to law school later in life, you don't see your family for 2 or 3 years. And that's hard work and sacrifices. And if you're not ready to work hard and sacrifice, you're not really going to make it anywhere unless you get real lucky and win the lottery and do whatever you want.
Yeah, and that was one of the examples that Tait Fletcher talked about. He said some like younger guy came up to him and was basically like, oh well, I want to become an entrepreneur like you. Like I work really hard at work and stuff, and then but I'm not really getting anywhere. And he was like, well, what do you do like after work? And like basically essentially it was like you go out drinking on the weekends, you like played like video games with his friends and stuff. And Tait Fletcher's answer was like, well, yeah, I mean, so you're basically not doing anything. Like, I mean, everyone has to go to work. Like, that's the baseline. Like, you have to do that.
Yeah, you have to do that.
So then, like, if you want to be successful, you have to do stuff after that. Like, you have to use your free time to do things to make you more successful. If you're not doing that, then like what? Like, you don't add any value to anyone.
Right. It's like there's people out there that haven't watched Sunday football in 10 years because that Sunday they're working towards their goals.
Yeah.
Where there's people that go, I'm not missing Sunday football. Well, but you have goals. Why don't you work towards them? And then, and I'm not talking about people that they're okay in their life, and that's fine. If you are in a bubble and you want to be stuck in that bubble and you're okay with it, that's cool. But like me personally, like I came to a realization, like I'm in this bubble. I want to be out of this bubble, but at the same time, I'm happy in my bubble. So it's like it's a real hard. What do I do next?
What would you even do without Chris?
What would I do without Chris? have a cleaner bathroom.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I don't know. It's like it all reminds me of like the whole nice guys finish last bullshit. Like that. I don't know. I feel like on the whole week cost Instagram, we should post the Cracked article that I've read about 10 times now over the last few years. That's this awesome article about how like basically about how you're an asshole when you don't work hard enough in life. Like and if you and if you don't think that's true, then it's definitely true for you. But one of the points in the article is about like there's all these guys that feel like, oh, I'm a nice guy and I treat women nice and like I'm respectful, so like how come nobody wants to date me? It's like, because what the fuck do you add? Like there's 1,000 guys like you. What's special about you?
Right.
Like just because you do the baseline human things, doesn't mean anything. That's essentially makes you like worthless.
I did what I had to do.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's basically like there's a nice guy who respects women who makes $100,000 a year. There's a nice guy who respects women who plays in a rock band. Like there's a nice guy who respects women who like has a 12-inch dick. Like what the fuck's special about you that just because you're a nice guy you deserve to date somebody? Right. I don't know. So yeah, Fletcher Tait.
Tait Fletcher.
Fletcher.
Yeah. So another thing
FT.
like, that I asked you, something actually Tait Fletcher's like into is CrossFit.
So I only looked up Tait Fletcher CrossFit. So I didn't get much deeper than things Tate Fletcher said about CrossFit.
Well, you as a human over the last 5 years know a little bit about CrossFit. Probably the negative side about it.
Yeah, I mean, I just between Robert Frank and Don Mazzetti, I basically know that if you would do CrossFit, you're a pussy.
Yeah.
And you probably like things that pussies like.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
But here's the thing: like, I go to the gym, and I guess I could go. I can't find any gyms in Jersey that could teach me how to do a clean and jerk or like a snatch.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure anybody can jerk. It's fine.
Yeah. And like CrossFit, like there's one down the street from me, and like that's part of it. You learn how to do like a clean and jerk, and I was thinking about like so I could learn how to do it properly, so I don't hurt myself.
Yeah.
Because there's like there's 5 things, like the 5 powerlifting movements. It's deadlift, squat, bench press, which I can all do at my gym. Yeah. And then there's clean and jerk, and there's snatch.
Yeah.
And the
more sexy sounding ones.
Yeah, the dirtier sounding ones, not sexy.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Those two, like, I can't do. Like, I can't teach myself how to do that.
Yeah.
It's I probably could, like, if I took the time. Like, I could do the movements real slow.
What's the
real light weights, but
that's do just the bar first and then work up.
That's something training. So I was thinking about going to a CrossFit gym, like down the street from work, like before work. I'm like, here's what I want to learn. Can you teach me this? Like, I'll do all the other exercises, but like, that's what I want to learn. So it's like really, it's really like a double-edged sword. Like, I want to go to that, but then if people find out I go to CrossFit, like, I don't want to get that kind of hazing.
Yeah.
like I feel like I'll be bullied.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I think you have to eat like a kale salad before you can do anything there.
Oh no, I'm just gonna stick to my regular diet. Like, I don't want to. I mean, there's probably more negative than positive, like out there, but I don't want to fall into that trap where like, I don't want to turn into the person that's like, you guys should do CrossFit.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to go, you're like kale salads all the time. You're going to like wear like the, what was that? Like the male onesie thing that was like out.
Singlet?
Yeah, you're going to be wearing them.
No, singlets for wrestling.
No, I'm thinking of the, what the fuck? Like the male romper.
Yeah, male romper. Yeah. With a pair of Sperry's.
Yeah. It should be like, oh guys, you're going to death from all. I got good romper. I got good romper sales this week. So that's how it's gonna happen. I mean, you'll be in great shape, but like you'll be wearing fucking romper.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, there's people out there that like are in really good shape, and they're like, we never worked an arm day. We just do this.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, and that's what I'm starting to realize more now. So I think all the Tate Fletcher stuff was good because I'm at like a pretty low energy point right now. Like I had about 2 weeks where I just really had no energy going to the gym. Like I like got through everything, but like it was like a struggle. And then
real quick, but did you watch any videos on clean and jerk?
I watched like 10 minutes of one.
Oh, it's the movement's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It like I was like I would crush every bone in my body if I tried to do that without proper training.
It was like this real muscular girl, so like you would have dug it, but like so yeah.
You like bubblegum girls, so it's all right.
Yeah.
If they don't look like chew bubblegum, don't even talk to me.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, but yeah, and then like the last 2 weeks with like the snow and all this other shit, like I missed some days. So like I've gone a couple days each of the last 2 weeks, but I don't know. I'm just trying to get like my energy back and stuff. And then like the same thing, like I feel like working the second job, like I'm in a low point there too. Like I actually signed up for a few less shifts coming up of that because I'm just like burnt out. Right. I don't know. So I think the Tate Fletcher stuff was good. I mean,
think about it this way.
Yeah.
You worked your second part-time job.
Yeah.
To get where you wanted to be.
Well, exactly. Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, I have this wedding to pay for now, but we planned it so far in advance that it's actually not going to be too unreasonable to pay for. Like if I do like $500 or $600 a month, which I can do without killing myself.
Did Kelly tell you what I told her to do?
What's that?
I told her she wanted to go to Vegas.
Yeah.
I was like, just put money away for Vegas, and then then be like, Kev, I can't afford this thing that I wanted for the wedding, and then you'll eventually just pay for it because you want her to have a good wedding, and then I was like, then I'll complain, and then you just tune them out, and that's the end of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically how life works.
Yeah, and she's like, oh, I can't do that. I was like, you can.
So she was about paying for the wedding. Over the next like 3 months, she's spending $250 on concert tickets.
What concert?
So she's seeing Ed Sheeran, which first off, I like Ed Sheeran too. We were going to go to the Ed Sheeran concert together, and then she's like, "Oh, I got tickets with my friends." I was like,
"Oh,
thanks for being a dick,
appreciate it."
And then she was like, "Oh, I didn't think you wanted to go that bad," and like it was a lot of money, and I was like, "Oh, so like it was too much money for like me to go, but like you could spend $100 on tickets."
Yeah. We gotta live a little.
Yeah, because I guess I guess like everyone goes to like sort of like like romantic song like ballad like concerts like without their significant others. I guess,
I've
like,
never listened to an Ed Sheeran song, so I want to know what he sounds like.
It's pretty good. And then she went to the Beyonce concert, despite the fact that Beyonce probably hates her. So
Beyonce hates Kelly?
Well, I mean, because she's like like of her skid tone.
I don't think Beyonce hates white people.
Some pretty racist videos.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I've got in this argument with people. I mean, it's kind of what I feel like. I don't know.
White people are like 70% of her like salary anyway.
It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I don't know. I don't like normally want to get into the race stuff, but like I just feel I don't know. I feel like it's like a crazy thing. Although I did have my observation from that March for Our Lives thing or whatever over the weekend. Was that white people are kind of douchebags.
Yeah, I've said it a lot of times. They should take the guns away from white people until they could show that they're responsible. And I told it to a Puerto Rican friend of mine at work, and he's like, playing both sides of the card, and he's like, well, you hear like the inner cities where like the black people or the Spanish people like they shoot each other all the time, and I'm like, yeah, but they're either out of school or have graduated school.
Yeah,
like they're adults. Like most of the people like in Chicago, there's like 800 and 900 murders last year. The people that got murdered, it's not like they weren't asking for it.
Yeah,
like probably 70, 80% of the people that got murdered, it's kind of part of the life they were living.
Yeah. Or at the very least, they weren't children.
Yeah.
But no. So because the two people that really stood out in my head, I was at work, but I was when they were doing some of the speeches in Washington. I was like taking a break. I was watching some of it. And I don't know if you saw that 11-year-old girl that spoke. It was fucking awesome. Like she was just, I don't know, just everything she said was like absolutely right on point. And it was basically like, I mean, she didn't, I mean, if you want to play sort of devil's advocate, like the issue, like some conservatives have with it is like they're playing the race card or they're like trying to take away the gun rights or whatever. She basically just said, look, I'm privileged. Like I get to speak my mind in front of all these people, but I'm here to speak for all the people that can't do that. All the people that have died that like didn't make the news, that are like not known, and her speech, it was like a few minutes long, was awesome. And she was 11 and just like the way she spoke, like everything was awesome. And then this like teenage white kid spoke, and I wanted to punch him in the face. And I mean, I guess I can't really say anything that negative because they're like all the shooting survivors and stuff. But he just sounded like a douchebag. Like he basically was like, he's basically like, oh, we're trying to, the key kids say stuff, whatever. But then he's like, oh, the people in Washington are scared, man. They're like, they're gonna
not scared.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. He's like, oh, we're gonna like rock the vote, all that bullshit, and like we're coming, and like we're gonna be able to vote in a few years. First off, in a few years, just the way society works, like no one's gonna remember any of this stuff. Like,
right.
And second off, no one's scared because you know what? It's awesome to make these speeches and shit, but like at the end of the day, like it doesn't change a fucking thing. And like that's a shame, but it doesn't change a fucking thing. And this guy just sounded like a douchebag.
I live in New Jersey, and every time I hear Sandy Hook, I'm like, "Where's that?" Oh yeah, North Jersey. So it's like
that's the thing. So
Florida's not going to mean anything to me in a couple years.
Yeah.
Like not to sound like a jerk off, but it happens so often.
Just being realistic. Well,
it's at this point, school shootings are like changing your underwear.
Yeah, and it's a shame that it is that way. And like, I mean, eventually, slowly, change is going to happen. But I mean, this kid thinking he's all powerful, making a speech to a bunch of people that can't even vote, like, it's not going to change a goddamn thing. And like, it's a shame. Like, I love it if it did, but like, I don't know. That's like what people look at when they kind of cringe and then like turn off the TV. When people like are real full of themselves, like, oh, Washington's scared and they're shaking, and like,
Yeah.
nah, they're probably laughing right now because they know
Right.
nothing's going to change.
Right.
I don't know, but
It's just going to inflate budgets for defense. That's all it is.
yeah, I don't know, and but yeah, but I mean, it's a shame because I think the whole movement was good. I think the whole parade was good. You know, it seemed less. You know, a lot of the other various protests have seemed like more obnoxious than helpful. I think this one actually was helpful. I think it did raise awareness and that sort of stuff. So I think the overall goals were accomplished, but there were some people that were like real douchey in the process. The one thing though, the one really good criticism I saw was that so Donald Trump didn't really say anything about it, which is like kind of like I think looks bad. You know, I think he tweets about everything. Like
Everything he does looks bad.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough.
But I mean, like he stubs his toe, and he has like 6 tweets against like the bench company that like made the fucking bench he stubbed his toe on. But then he didn't say anything about this. I just think it looks really bad.
That's all he had to do is tweet like, even if he doesn't believe it,
Yeah.
I stand with these children. That's
Yeah.
it. That's all you have to say.
Children are our future. Like
yeah,
some
children.
bullshit. I
Yeah,
don't
something because people will just go, no matter what he says, like people are gonna go, oh, that's not enough. You know,
Yeah.
that's not enough, or that's the wrong thing. But if he said something like
Yeah.
children are our future, or something positive content with children in it, that's
Yeah.
all. Yeah. Children are our future. I'm with children. These children are right. Children lives matter, or something.
Yeah.
Well, that might go wrong, but
Yeah. Yeah. All the adult activists will be out against him.
yeah.
Adult lives don't matter.
Yeah, yeah. So it not saying anything this time was worse. Sometimes he shouldn't say anything, but this time he should have said something.
Yeah.
Positive context, like I'm with children.
Although I mean, the one thing I mean, probably not. I'm with children. Probably. I mean, there's things you could say that would be wrong. But yeah, but I don't know. The one article I read about it was, you know, had a good point that like what if he showed up and spoke at this rally? Like he would have gotten booed. Like people would have said shit about it, but like he would have gotten respect from a lot of people.
Right.
If he would have like showed up and taken the heat and like addressed it and been like, no, we got to do something. Like
Yeah.
he would have gotten a lot of respect.
Well, whether it's you know, more gun legislation, mental health, like no matter what, and it's a multiple part answer
Yeah.
that takes time. No matter what it is, like him just going up there like this is unacceptable. Like
Yeah.
it's it 100% of the country has to agree with that. School shootings are unacceptable.
We shouldn't shoot kids.
We shouldn't shoot students.
100% agree with it. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure.
And like even if he said something silly, like something, you know, white bread like that, this is unacceptable, and that's it. You know,
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
would have got shit. He's gonna get shit no matter what. But at least say something,
Yeah.
even if it's white bread, not offensive.
Yeah. And then the one bit of gun legislation he tried to get through actually, he did in like the most Trump way possible, which I thought was kind of funny, because they're trying to like do an end run around Congress and to ban like those bump stock things. I don't understand it fully, but it's like the Department of Justice or somebody has the ability to like sort of change the definition of like what certain guns are considered to try to ban them. So the idea is machine guns are banned.
They've been banned since like
Yeah.
80s.
Yeah, exactly. Machine guns are banned. So they're trying, whatever department it is that can do this, they're trying to change the definition of guns with bump stocks on them. There's like, you know, those gun added things that like can make them semi-automatic,
Right.
to say that a gun with a bump stock counts as a machine gun.
Right.
So therefore, a gun with a bump stock would be banned. So then bump stocks are effectively banned because you can never use them. So they're trying to change this definition. So then Donald Trump tweeted essentially, oh, it's something along the lines of like, oh, even though Obama approved of gun stock of bump stocks, I'm trying to fix the problem that Obama made. Is essentially what he said.
But it's not. I saw the mechanism behind it.
Yeah.
They can ban the creation of them, but you give me $20, I'll make you one.
Well, the thing is, but owning one at all would be illegal. So people that own one would like theoretically have to turn them over,
Right.
or they could be like prosecuted.
Yeah, owning a rocket launcher is illegal too, but I knew 2 people with them.
Yeah.
So,
But it would just be a thing that like if you committed a crime and then you were found to have one, it'd be like an extra thing that you get in trouble for. But yeah, I guess it wouldn't change too much. And I guess any little bit's probably good. But the I don't know. A couple articles I read about it though said that it like essentially it would be challenged. Like if they do it, it's going to be challenged in court. It's almost certainly going to lose,
right.
because bump stocks are very specifically made not to be machine guns.
Yeah.
Like they're made to get around the definition of a machine gun.
Yeah.
So like we can pretend, but like if it's challenged in court, like it's not going to hold up.
Also, capitalism.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know I wonder what the market is for. I mean, there must be some if people make them, but
I'll research it real quick.
yeah.
Yeah.
But also, JD already knows, but for the many listeners, this is my first podcast wearing headphones. So if I sound different, it's because I can hear myself for the first time. So maybe I'm speaking differently. I don't know. Maybe I sound the same.
Yeah, he's not like snorting and sneezing because he can hear it now.
Yeah, maybe. It's also really weird because I have some Amazon Basic headphones, which you can never go wrong with the Amazon Basics. But they're really, really insulating, so I can't hear JD at all in the room. I can only hear him through the headphones. So like, it's pretty cool.
Well, the Amazon Basic stuff, like I have a lot of stuff around like the studio that are Amazon Basics. Like when I bought the microphone and they sent me the wrong microphone, I bought the microphone cord. It's an Amazon Basics, and they come in like nice little packaging too.
Yeah.
So
it's pretty awesome.
They cost like $400. So
bump stocks.
Yeah. It doesn't really say like.
But for real though, like why would you? I mean, with the exception of like you just like collect guns and like whatever, because like some people, I'm sure that's the reason why some people want to get this stuff. But like, why realistically would you ever need a bump stock, or a semi-automatic gun, or an automatic gun?
I can't answer. I can't even. I'm not a gun guy, so I can't tell you.
But like. See, this is my issue with this. There's not another side to the argument.
Right.
Like essentially the one side is like, why in 2018 do you need a semi-automatic gun? And the argument always seems to be because we can. Like, yeah, but then if we just change it so like you can't, then like you can't. like that. Like then there's no argument. Like then it's because we used to be able to. I don't know. Like we used to be able to like hang witches and shit. Like I don't know. We just don't do it anymore.
Yeah, we need and I believe this for years. We need a whole new constitution. Like we need different amendments. Like
yeah, a lot of it doesn't apply anymore.
Yes, the one about slavery just has a line through it. You know, the one about women not being able to vote just has a line through it. Well, it's not women, you know, those, you get what I'm saying? Like, they have amendments to overturn, like, what's in the Constitution.
Yeah.
Yeah, or, you know, other shit. It's just stupid, you know? It's like, just redo the whole thing.
Yeah, what would be so wrong about just, I mean, why are we...
Other countries did it.
Yeah, why are we bound to a 300-year-old document?
It's like the same people that are bound to a 2,000-year-old book.
Yeah. Yeah, what was it? It was like the John Oliver show. They had a segment about Mike Pence recently, and there was this woman that used to work with Mike Pence, and he had said all this stuff that he'd say like in the name of Jesus, and she said something like, "Jesus ain't say that," and then like they just kept replaying it. Like whenever Mike Pence would say something crazy, be like, "Jesus ain't say that."
Just like there are things in both those documents that you can live by.
Yeah.
Like the Fifth Amendment. You don't actually have to say anything until you get a lawyer.
Yeah.
You know? Like you can tell your lawyer and then he can dole out. You know, like there are things like in that, like, or all the good stuff in the Bible. But we don't need all the bad stuff though.
Yeah. Oh.
And it's unarguable. All the bad stuff in everything.
Yeah.
Like it's like
Yeah.
you can just get rid of it.
Speaking of stuff that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this is part of the travel ban stuff or whatever, but apparently they changed this rule very recently that, or I don't know if they just changed it, if they're about to change it soon. I think it was changed recently. They implemented this real ID system. So like when you get a new ID, I'm assuming my ID is it's in the car. I'm assuming
Hey,
I'm assuming it's a real ID.
I have to go get my license. I think this time I'm going to use my passport.
Oh,
I've
there you
never
go.
had a passport before.
Yeah. So, but the new IDs have this real ID feature on them, so it's like extra security stuff to like prove who you are, I guess. So I'm assuming the one I have has that because I just got it a couple months ago. But so everyone now to fly, even domestically, needs a real ID, or they need a passport. So
because I'm from New Jersey,
mm,
I don't.
okay, yeah,
It's not every state.
yeah. So, yeah. I'm not sure of all the details, but essentially, at least in some places, you do. So, from what I understand, so for us to go to Disney like later this year with the kids, Sam and Allison might need passports. As American citizens, they might need fucking passports to travel in their own fucking country. That's a disgrace. What the fuck is the point of being an American citizen if you can't even travel in your own country? It's like it's easier to travel between countries in the European Union than it is to travel between states in the United States of fucking America. I'm so angry about it.
Yeah, I mean, having a passport in the United States is ridiculous.
Not only that, but it's a huge fucking deal to get a passport for a kid. The paperwork's terrible to begin with, and then you need both parents there, which means I have to go with my ex-wife to take Sam to get a passport.
You need both parents for
Yes.
that?
Or one parent has to have like a signed affidavit, like notarized, saying that like is okay. So we're gonna have to hope that like Kelly's ex even fucking shows up to get a passport for Allison, or we're gonna have to like take him to court to get a fucking passport. Like it's ridiculous. And then what happens? What if like I have rights, that the thing we signed that like we each have a week of vacation with Sam a year. What if like Laura decides that she doesn't want Sam to get a passport? Like then what we can't go on vacation? Or like I have to take her to court to get her to I don't think this will be a problem. I don't really think this will be a problem anyway. I think it'll be fine. We haven't talked about it yet. I'm assuming she doesn't listen to our podcast, so I don't actually have any worries about this. But what if theoretically she was like, oh, I'm uncomfortable with that. I don't want him to get a passport. Then we can't go on fucking vacation. Like that's a disgrace in our own fucking country.
Well, I think. Are you sure it's for all children? It's not like 17 and above.
No, I think it's for under. Yeah. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
but from my loose knowledge of this, I'm very angry.
It says here, I don't know. I don't feel like going through it because I've heard about it, but I didn't do. It seems.
I don't know. We'll probably ultimately just have to call the airline and find out.
Yeah.
I'm sure they can tell us or direct us.
Yeah.
But even the fact that we have to think about if we need a passport to travel in our own country is a disgrace. I don't know. Who is this making safer?
I don't know. It's ridiculous. I know New Jersey's not part of it because we don't have to do it. Let's see. Yeah.
What's this big elephant on our studio bed?
Oh, yeah. Actually, New Jersey and Pennsylvania, the following states and territories, have been granted extensions. New Jersey.
Well, that's
Pennsylvania.
extensions for the real ID thing, but I don't know if that means that you don't have to get the real ID or you
so
don't have to
can't,
fly.
No, you can't go into Florida because Florida's like, we're good.
Yeah.
So there's participating states right now,
Mm.
and then there's states at extension, and then American Samoa is not compliant.
Good for you, American Samoa.
You did something right. Oh, that giant elephant, his name is Marcus Aurelius.
Okay.
Yeah, I got him for Valentine's Day.
Nice.
You haven't noticed since February?
First time I looked that way.
Oh,
First
no.
time I turned my head to the left.
Yeah. So yeah, it's that's my Valentine's.
Okay.
Yeah,
He's like real stoic.
I have a joke that he's a bureaucrat and he is the vice chair of cuddles for the UN.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like a giant elephant.
You
body
just started
pillow.
thinking about CrossFit, and that's where it led you.
What?
You didn't even start doing CrossFit yet.
No, the vice chair of the UN for cuddles. Cuddles. You know when you cuddle something.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's
Yeah.
that have to do with CrossFit?
Like what two CrossFit guys do with each other?
Oh. No, she gave it to me so that I could have something to cuddle when she's not around.
All right.
Yeah. So.
That's
But-
like it's like low key possessive. Like,
Yeah.
like oh, this is gonna take this spot so nobody else can.
Yeah, but it's like the size of a body pillow.
Yeah.
But I still use my body pillow anyway.
Yeah.
So.
You do the who's that actor that was rumored to have like the Japanese sex pillows?
Not me.
Yeah. What was it? It's a real weird guy.
Japanese guy.
No, he's an American actor.
American actor with Japanese sex pillows.
I feel like it was really just a 30 Rock skit, but then it became like a real rumor. I can't think of who it is. In my head, I keep thinking John Leguizamo, but it's not him.
I've only watched.
It's not John Leguizamo.
I've only watched scenes from 30 Rock.
So-
Mostly Tracy Morgan.
Yeah, 30 Rock's pretty awesome. I actually brought it up. So I haven't watched it in a while, but I brought it up earlier today because we were talking about like people's like adult kids that were like wastes of life, and there's one line Jack from 30 Rock says it's something like the first generation goes to work, the second generation goes to school, and the third generation like snowboards or something. You know, like they're just fucking wastes.
Oh, what's it called? You ever see the scene where Tracy Morgan?
The fun cooker.
Excuse me.
That's one of
No,
the best
he
ones.
thinks the word Google means masturbate. Yeah.
That's
He's
I
like-
don't remember. That sounds
he's
familiar.
like,
I think I've seen it.
Hey,
But
Liz Lemon, can I Google in your office? And she's like, yeah. He's like, can I use your computer? And she's like, how else would you do it, Tracy? He's like, cool. And like, so it's
Yeah.
so funny.
yeah, that show, honestly, all great characters in that show.
Oh. So funny thing about Tracy Morgan, he's
Yeah.
such a like he's like that guy all the time.
Yeah,
Like,
is it just him? He's
like,
playing
it's just-
himself basically.
Yeah, just him. They actually, I was reading that they always got him in. They would schedule him first, and they would shoot all his scenes, and then kick him out of the studio because he would mess with everyone. He would talk to everyone because, like the first season, he like they couldn't get anything done if he was on set. So they'd film all his scenes first, and then they kick him out.
Nice.
They're like, go do something else.
Nice.
Yeah, they wouldn't allow him to come in early or leave late. They're like,
Yeah.
here's the time you got to show up. You're not allowed on set.
That's awesome. I was thinking of another Jack line too from that because he's really an awesome character. But it was a line where it made me think about this with my like life rebuilding over the last few years. But it was like it's an episode where he gets fired basically. He has to work his way back up from the bottom. And like Liz Lemon sees him in the morning. He's like, oh, I'm working in the mailroom. Then she's in the afternoon. He's like, oh, I'm managed in the mailroom. She's like, oh, that was fast. He's like, yeah, you know, it took me 15 years the first time to get where I was at. I think I could do it in 8 now.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. No, it's a good show. I've never watched it, but I've seen a lot of clips. I mean,
Yeah.
I've watched like episodes here and there. They have good chemistry, but
Yeah.
I don't want to watch it.
Yeah, that's really what it is. I feel like everyone in the show has good chemistry.
Yeah, but here's the thing: it's the same reason why I didn't watch Parks and Recs, but because people overhype it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't want to do it. I won't watch stuff out of spite when people overhype it. Except for Game of Thrones, I was 8 episodes behind Game of Thrones, and everybody told me just watch the show. I'm like, I'm not watching that bullshit show.
Yeah.
And then I watched the first episode, and then 8 hours later, I'm like, when's the next episode? Like I'm shaking. I'm like, oh, I'll give you, well. You know, just when is it? It was like a Tuesday.
Yeah. Now, I don't know. You know, so I think Game of Thrones is interesting because I feel like if you watch the first season now, it's like kind of boring. Like it's just all right.
The first episode. Oh, sorry, I was thinking of a different show. I'll keep going.
Yeah. No. The first season. I mean, the first season's fine, but like it's like slower paced. Not as much. You know, there's not as much action and stuff. I think like one main character dies the whole fucking season.
Oh, yeah, but here's the thing about the first. It's a good show. The first season.
Yeah, well, true.
Now it's a farce.
Yeah. Well, true. Yeah.
Like if cops came out and arrested everyone like they do in
The Monty Python Holy Grail.
yeah, it's like the cop out ending. Like I'm like I knew it. I knew it was a Monty Python show. Like that's how I feel. I mean, I still want to watch it. Like I'm
Yeah.
still intrigued and everything.
Yeah.
But if cops came out and arrested everyone, I'm like I fucking knew it.
Yeah, but there's like so seasons 2 through 5 that were like perfect, and like season 1's like pretty slow in retrospect. And season after 5 is like just a shit show,
Yeah.
but like big budget shit show. I don't know.
Even
Oh,
season 2 was good because of Stannis.
yeah,
Duh.
yeah. No, season 2 is awesome. There's that bullshit that happens at the Blackwater, but it's still pretty awesome. I don't know, but
I mean, that happens in the book too.
I know, but it's still bullshit. This is George R. R. Martin bullshit, not Weiss and Benioff bullshit.
There's only one true king.
Exactly. Who we've never seen die on screen.
Oh no, he's definitely not coming back.
Never seen him die.
I know, that's what I say too. We didn't
Yeah.
see him die, but they do say that she chopped off his head, and the actor doesn't want to come back. He just thought it was silly.
Brienne's a known liar,
Yeah.
and Stephen Delane has hated Stannis from season 2. He doesn't understand why anyone likes the character. He thinks it's a terrible character.
Yeah. But it was so stupid when he kills his own daughter and everything.
Yeah.
Well, in 2019, we can actually we're all caught up, so we could just talk about it the day after.
Exactly. Yeah. The one thing I thought was interesting. I don't know if I talked about this in here before, but I saw an interview with Stephen Delane where he basically said like he hated the character so much that like he honestly didn't know like what they were talking about most of the time, and actually, what is his name? Something Cunningham that plays Davos. Liam Cunningham, yeah, that plays Davos. Also in real life, would have to tell Stephen Delane like what was going on so he could get in character and be motivated for the scene.
Really?
Yeah.
And I don't care what anybody says. I've seen her in other movies.
Mm.
Both of these women, I've seen them in other movies,
Mm.
and I see them in Game of Thrones now.
Mm.
Sophie Turner,
Mm.
who Sansa,
Mm.
and the chick who plays Daenerys.
Yeah.
They're terrible actors.
Oh yeah. Well,
They're both terrible.
Sophie Turner's a little better, I think.
Yeah.
But what's the girl who plays Daenerys?
Who knows?
Yeah, but she's terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, even in Where Are My Dragons? I don't know. Like
Yeah.
that. Like that's the classic. I don't know.
Do you see the last Terminator movie? She's in that.
Nah,
You're like you like I want to kill myself.
yeah,
Like I'm like I'll self terminate.
yeah. I don't know. It's a shame because there's some really good actors on that show. Actually,
Yeah, they're
like all the Lannisters were all great actors.
they still are.
Yeah,
All both.
yeah. Well, there's three. No, there's three that are
All
alive
three.
still.
Even Kevin Lannister was great.
It wasn't bad.
Like he didn't really say anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're so bad. Like Sophie Turner, I think her character's terrible,
Yeah,
but
I think that colors it a little bit. I
Yeah.
don't know.
she's terrible, and then Daenerys, oh my god, she just gets worse and worse and
Yeah,
worse.
just really dry. I don't know. And
Like you believe Cersei Lannister's like self-righteous.
Yeah.
Like you believe her character. You don't like her, but
Yeah.
you believe her doing it. You're like, I can believe this person. And Daenerys is like, you can't believe her.
well, you know what? So Peter Dinklage, and the other two Lannisters, whose names I don't know, I forget.
Well, it's Lena Headey.
Lena Headey, yeah.
And then,
he is Walter. No, Nikolai.
Nikolai. Yeah, and you
Yeah.
can't. It's
Yeah.
Danish, so no one can pronounce it.
But like, they don't even have to talk in scenes. Like, just like their body language and their facial expressions
Yeah.
are like all so good.
Right.
I don't know. I can picture it clearly in my head right now when like, the facial expression that like the Nikolai Walder.
Yeah.
Like his facial expression, like when when they take High Garden, and he's talking to the Queen of Thorns. What's her name? The QOT, we'll just call her.
Yeah,
That's what
Queen of Thorns.
I believe. That's how Preston usually refers to her as. Like when she tells him that she killed Joffrey, like his facial expressions, like just
Right.
I mean, he doesn't have to say there's doesn't really say anything.
Yeah.
Just the body language is also good. I don't know, and like Peter Dinklage is great at that. Lena Headey's great at that. I don't know. The guy that played Tywin was great at that.
Yeah. Sean Bean was great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was good for the little while he was in.
Sean Bean has a new show on Netflix. I just fell asleep. It's
Yeah.
called Frankenstein Diaries.
Ah,
And I
is he dead already in
no,
it?
no, no. And I think he's the star.
So there's gonna be a second star for the second season?
No, no, there's 2 seasons, I think. I'm pretty
Huh.
sure. I think it's like 12 episodes, too. And I'm like, I watched it. I'm like, I want to watch this because I like everything Sean Bean's in. But like,
Yeah.
I fell asleep and I was like, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
How many people do you think like are watching it though, and like just like I bet there's like a message board where people just like are pissed every episode that Sean Bean's still alive.
No, he's like 51.49 for living
Huh.
percent.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Um. Oh, I don't know. I there was another show I started watching that was pretty interesting that I'm hesitant to bring up because I really can't even describe it to say what it is. It's this show on the History Channel. Pretty sure it's the History Channel about like the Knights Templar. Um, it's like Knights something.
Oh, is it a scripted show?
Yeah, scripted
Yeah,
show.
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I wonder. I don't know what that's called.
Yeah.
But I watched like a couple episodes. And it was pretty good. And then I just dropped off. I stopped watching it.
Yeah, I watched that show for the first season, Vikings.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
I watched the first like 8 episodes.
I heard that was really good. Is it?
It was good, and then
Yeah.
like it got boring. It got to
Yeah.
like a like it was like a soap opera,
Okay.
but with night. Like
Yeah.
it turned into a soap opera, but with Vikings. So
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man.
I don't know. I'm just thinking I just really want to see Stephen Delane in something else, like another similar character.
Yeah.
Because even though you hated the character, you played it so well.
Yeah. Oh, that's the show I was looking for. I was watching before you came over.
Mm.
I was watching what's that show? I can't think. The Walking Dead.
Okay.
The first episode of The Walking Dead is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Like it's a
Yeah.
masterpiece.
Yeah, I saw it. It's
It's
really good.
so good. And then after that, it's so silly now. It's like the silliest show in the world. But
Yeah.
the only reason I watch it is so I talk to a guy at work about it. Like he likes watching it. We talk about how silly it is. And like some of the characters are good, but it just gets like you like laugh about it. Like, why would you do that? What's your motivation? Like they don't explain any of their motivations whatsoever.
Yeah, I saw 3 or 4 seasons of that, and I thought I liked it, but then I stopped watching. I think the last thing I saw was like when they're holed up in like they go it is probably season 3 or 4 or 5. They're like find like a research bunker. It's like an NIH or like a CDC like research
CDC,
place.
it's the first season.
Really? Oh, shit, I didn't get as far as I thought.
I'm pretty sure it's the first season.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
it's
and,
either the first or second season.
and then it ends with like them blowing up the bunker, or like they escape just for self
well,
destructs or something.
it self destructs so that all the viruses didn't get out.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone on that show should be dead by now.
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised. You know, it's really a cultural leftover now because you know there was the big zombie thing for like a few years, and like that's been done for like a few years now. So it's kind of weird that it's still around.
Yeah, but they do. I was talking to the guy at work. They do a really good job with the zombies. When they first started, the zombies like they were like part human, and some were a little more rotted.
Mm.
And then Fear the Walking Dead, like they just look like humans with like messed up eyes. Like they,
Yeah.
you know, now 7 seasons later, years later, it's all the zombies are gray and they're all made of bone and like they're like you hit them lightly, they fall apart.
Yeah.
So like in another 2 years, most of the zombies will be gone.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not how it works, but they'll eventually just rot away.
So there's another Cracked article actually about like how like improbable a zombie apocalypse would be because of things like that, about how they would dry out in the desert, how they would just freeze in the Arctic, like how like all these ways you could survive it essentially. But yeah, I don't know. There was a good extra credits episode about that too. About that's what I want to talk about. Fuck the zombie thing. One thing I mentioned before we started was you know, and I feel like I haven't talked about extra credits in a while, but how they watching that Tait Fletcher stuff, how it really reminded me, you know, because it's a guy who's like high in his field, is like an entrepreneur and stuff at this point now, and a lot of the stuff he was talking about really reminded me of essentially stuff that the extra credits folks said about making video games, like like a lot of the just doing it thing, like they talked about like how to become a game developer and all this stuff, and it's like we just like have to make a game, like you just have to like, in your own time, like, do the things that you need to do to be successful. You just have to do them. Like there's no secret. Like no one give you advice about it. You just have to do it. And then they proceed to like for many episodes of shows like give advice about how to do it, but essentially it boils down to like you just have to do it. But the other thing they said was interesting was one of their advice for like being a good game developer was to pay attention to the world around you. And their idea was that like, most people they knew that were game developers, like were not like, they didn't go to school to be a game developer. Like they went to, they were like history majors or like philosophy majors or like, something that involved like studying the world. And they had some good, like a couple training exercises they talked about. Like they talked about how you should be like, just hyper focus on the stuff around you. They said, the one exercise they said was, try to go on a roller coaster and just like, don't really just go on it and like, just feel the feelings or whatever. And they're like, now I'll try to go on a roller coaster, like as a designer and like focus on like, sort of like, like where the tension builds, like where the tension releases, like where the exciting parts are, like focus on like, how the people around you are affected, like for like after you go a couple times, like maybe you notice like how like the person next to you is like experiences ruin because the woman in front of him has long hair or something, that like gets in his face, like you pay attention to all these little things, so then you can translate them. That's the sense, and that was one of the things that Tait Fletcher said actually was like, if you're going to be successful, you have to pay attention to all these things that other people do, and like take the successful things out of it, and emulate those things essentially.
Roller coaster related. I'm not even going to add on to that conversation because I think you hit all the key points. But roller coaster related is I went on Nitro at Six Flags with my brother. I think it's Nitro, and they have like 8 or 9 loops that go up, and so like we went on there like twice in a row because the line was so. The second time, like after I got used to it, we would go up and I would scream, and as soon as we hit like the top of it, I'd pretend to pass out. And then we'd go all the way down. As soon as it would go up to the next one, I'd scream like we were going down. I had the 2 people next to us dying laughing. I had people behind us dying laughing because it's like you change the experience for somebody. Yeah, like they're not paying attention to this roller coaster now. They're paying attention to Mr. Opposite Man.
Yeah. And that was another Tait Fletcher point. Now that I listened to one Tait Fletcher
See,
podcast.
aren't you glad
Yeah.
I made you look him up? You got to follow him on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like he always has like he'll bring up something and he'll go, "Why would someone do that? Be your own man." Like that's pretty much his own thing. Be your own man. You can get advice and you can find heroes, but be your own man.
So I'll keep following keep following Robert Frank.
Yeah.
Chest day Monday to Thursday, arm day Friday and Saturday.
He's competing with us now. He has a podcast.
I know. He's our direct competition now.
Yeah.
We should invite him on.
Yeah, I'll try.
I don't think he'd fit in the studio.
No, I'm bigger than him.
That's what I'm saying. Isn't he like a little guy? Like height wise?
He can't be more than 5'10".
Yeah.
I mean, like he's jacked and juicy as fuck, but
he's like as wide as he is tall, I think.
Yeah.
So
he can't be more than 5'8", 5'10".
Yeah. Shit, what was I gonna say about?
I mean, we could also call in.
Yeah, true. We'll just play Robert Frank clips and pretend he's calling. We'll just like ask a question that relates to the video. Shit, what was I gonna say? I don't know. It's probably not important though. It's fine.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
About Tait Fletcher.
Yeah.
Be your old man.
Yeah. Fletcher Tait.
No.
FT.
Well, one day we could get him on, even though he lives in New Mexico. But
Yeah, we can call it. It's fine. We can probably be Robert Frank at the mall.
He's always at the mall.
Yeah.
Wait, you should start taking Kelly and the kids to that mall, and you can bump into him.
Which mall does he go to?
He was in the Chamonix for a couple times.
We go to Chamonix all the time.
Yeah, he was in he
Go to Oxford Valley or somewhere too.
Yeah, Oxford Valley. He lives in North Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know? Interesting fact. So between the Neshaminy and Oxford malls, if you're going up on 95, there's this whole stretch of like nothing, and like for some reason it's been under construction for like a few years, and I kind of wondered why. And we actually were driving through that area like a couple weeks ago, and I said something like, "Oh, what are they even doing here? Like, there's not like what are they building? Like the road was fine, like the road was fairly new. Like I don't understand what they're building." Then I saw an article. It's actually super important. So apparently, when they planned 60 years ago, when they planned 95, they planned it to be a continuous route from Florida to Maine.
Right.
It is actually not.
It's not.
It
I
is.
always thought it was.
It is 1,900 miles of a continuous highway, except for a little section in Bucks County into New Jersey, where you have to get off the highway, and it's still technically 95, but you basically have to go on local roads
Really?
that are called I-95. Because for like the last 30 years, assholes in Jersey have basically been blocking the construction of the very last piece of 95. That literally, there's been engineers that have spanned their entire career trying to get this section of road built.
Well, we're from Jersey, so
Yeah. So
it doesn't matter if you're right or wrong, as long as I feel good about it.
So it was finally laid out, and it's like almost completed. That you will no longer have to get off 95 just north of Philadelphia briefly for no reason. It's solid highway now, and now at that point connects to the Jersey Turnpike and the Pennsylvania Turnpike. And I'm not sure if you actually don't have to go into Jersey anymore too, if you can stay in Pennsylvania to keep traveling north on that road. But yeah, so if you think like 95 construction is bad, like it literally took 60 years to build this fucking highway.
Nate from Colorado,
Yeah.
he was telling me about you could take 76 all
the way to
to
Colorado.
California.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Somebody.
76 goes across the country, but it 76 also like piggybacks on other highways.
Yeah.
But it'll turn into our Route 76 again. It piggybacks on different highways, but it's the same highway system.
I was just talking to somebody that drove on 76 out to Colorado. I can't remember who it was. I feel like it was somebody at work this weekend that was talking about it. But yeah, so I knew it went at least that far. I think Route 1 goes really far too, even though it's like a state or like an interstate. Or yeah, I guess it's like a state highway, right? But I think it continues like for a few states.
Yeah. 476 goes pretty far too.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it goes outside of Pennsylvania, but it goes pretty far. You go like forever on that.
Yeah. Because I know I drove like 4 hours on it one time.
Yeah.
And I was coming back. I forget where I was coming back from, but I was coming back from somewhere west, like not too far. And I saw 476, and I hopped on 476 because when I'm too far from home, my anxiety starts going up. But then I see something that's familiar, and like my anxiety just drops.
So you're like in Maine, and you're like, oh, it's 95. It's great. Fine, I'll just take this.
I can take this, except for a little part in New Jersey where I have to cross over and go local roads, but the rest of it's good.
But
like I'm driving to Canada, so the entire time I'm like anxiety through the roof.
Yeah.
But then as soon as we start heading back, I feel fine.
Yeah, I wonder. I think that'd be kind of interesting actually, just to hop on 95 and go north, and just go to the end. I don't know. There's actually, so it's kind of cool. I looked this up before on Google Maps. There's like, there's different like sort of highlights you can find of like different weird places in Google Maps. And like, I think it's cool. There's like a few places in Canada where like the road just ends, where like it's the northernmost part of that road.
Oh, so funny story about highways. Driving down to New Orleans, and I thought about this weekend. Hilarious.
Yeah.
I could turn this into a stand-up joke somehow. So I had to, my Crohn's was bugging me, so I didn't know. So I stopped like a couple times on the way to pick up my niece. So one time I actually had to stop and go to the bathroom, and then I hate public restrooms, right? So I took a bath and bleach when I got back, but so I remember going through Mississippi where the road and I was in class and I was telling somebody this and they didn't believe me, but the girl sitting next to me from Mississippi, she's like, I know what you're talking about. The road, the highway, the major highway, it goes from 3-lane highway to a 2-lane highway to a 1-lane highway, then to a dirt road for about 20 or 30 miles.
Huh.
So one of the rest stops,
Yeah.
it says shitter, and then over by like another part it says urinate.
I feel like for continuity it should be shitter and pisser, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But it says shitter,
Yeah.
and it was like a wood sign someone wrote on it, and it was one of those like compost shitters.
Yeah.
And then it said urinate, and it was like
Huh.
the same person wrote that sign,
Yeah.
but it was just a tree.
Huh.
And I was like, why?
So
And like,
so if you pee on that tree,
all right,
would that be considered public urination?
probably.
Huh. But
Yeah.
it's a officially designated rest stop.
Well, I think the compost poopers.
Yeah.
I think you could pee in those legally, but someone put a sign that said shitter and then urinate. Like he couldn't think of pisser. Yeah, that's why I was like I started like I'm taking a dump, and I start laughing because like I remember seeing that, and then you just drive on the dirt road again.
I feel like at some point in life we need to drive there and just fix the sign. Just make it pisser.
Yeah, yeah, or like either make that pisser or make shit or defecate.
Yeah.
Yeah, like either one would work
Yeah.
for me.
I guess we could put add them to both. Shitter / defecate.
Right? Yeah, it depends.
Urinate /
Yeah, it
pisser.
depends on like middle class
Yeah.
where you are. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm not working poor anymore.
Oh, good.
I'm lower middle class.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I feel pretty good about that.
I heard that I'm not working porn anymore. I was like, I didn't know you got into the porn business initially.
Yeah.
I feel like that would have come up on this podcast before.
I was never in the porn business.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm disgusting naked.
Fluffer.
Yeah. Job's a job. Yeah, so, all right, that's it for this week's Whole Week Costa. So look out for all our links coming soon.